Hi there and welcome to Aging Fearlessly, a place where you learn to discover your best self. I'm Guillermo Vidal, your humble host for this program, and I'm so glad you made it. Thank you so much for sharing your time. Now there's an old saying that I want to talk about today that goes like this: the perfect is the enemy of the good. Now I'm not sure what Voltaire, the famous French writer who's credited with this saying, meant by it. But I bring it up because a good chunk of the people that I know strive for perfection in everything that they do. But I believe that's a huge mistake, because striving for perfection can actually keep you from completing your work and achieving your goals. Now, why is this? Well, this is because perfection cannot be defined. You never know when you have achieved it. Therefore, it is unattainable. Now, I want to analyze this in our program today, because as we get older, if we don't let go of this propensity of striving for perfection, we're always going to be miserable. Don't think so? Then answer this for me. What is perfection? Who defines it? How do you know when you've achieved it? Now, the answer to these questions are these. There is no such thing as perfection. It cannot be defined. And no one in this world can spell it out for you either, because they don't know what it is. Now, to prove my point, let's just take a simple example of perfection from sports. And let's determine who's the greatest quarterback of all time, or the greatest basketball player of all time. That should be easy to come up with, right? Not at all. Although it is fun to debate these things, the truth is that there's no true measure by which to quantify this. For although the person you think of as the greatest may be compelling in their skills and statistics, there's really no way to determine how the contributions from their teammates and coaches, or just sheer luck, had to do with their success. The fact is that no one does anything on their own or control their environment so completely that they can define and then produce anything on their own to be perfect. The fact is there are always changing variables, so all you can do is try your best and have faith in the results. Now, unbeknownst to us, perfection is simply a figment of our imagination. Perhaps this penchant to be perfect is the net result of our desire to please our high-demanding parents or teachers, for whom our best efforts could always be better. But no matter where this pursuit of perfection came from, we have been striving to achieve this imaginary goal for so long that we do not see how much destruction it has brought on to our lives. So how can we back off this bad habit? Let's start out with this. Think of this endeavor for perfection as an addiction. Now, I know people who can't buy a car because every time they think they have found the perfect car, a new one comes out, and that seems better than the one they were contemplating, and it sends them back to square one. I know of another who's been trying to buy a retirement home for 5 years, and she cannot bring herself to pull the trigger, but she can't find the perfect home. Now, I can tell you a dozen stories of people who are not in a love relationship because they always find fault in a person they date. But those things, frankly, they're too much of an area to cover. So let's, for simplicity's sake, just stick with our effort to be perfect in everything that we do. Now, one of the best ways to know if someone's looking to be perfect all the time is when that someone insists that they're not looking for perfection because they're far from being perfect. Now, don't be fooled by that. This is the same as proclaiming that no matter how hard they try, they're never going to be perfect, because they know they're not perfect. That's exactly the point of this program today. When you're constantly looking for perfection and never see it in what you do, you have convinced yourself that you're not good enough, or that you're not adequate enough, or that your efforts will never amount to much. In other words, not being perfect in your own eyes means that you have an inner voice that's constantly belittling you and telling you that you're worthless. You cannot age well if you're constantly thinking that your life conditions are inadequate and that you're not a worthwhile human being. It's just not possible to live happily like that. These are the kinds of internal words that kill your spirit and sour your life. Now here's a suggestion how to overcome this terrible bad habit. I practice self-compassion. I do this by defining what I believe to be good enough in whatever it is I am doing. Then, when I have reached that goal, I can decide on stopping what I'm doing and accept the result, or I can decide on making some small improvement or something, but all of it is attainable, and it's all depending on what I desire. I will often opt for the attainable improvement, but I do finish with a great sense of satisfaction. When I used to seek perfection, I was never satisfied with the final product, no matter what I did. If you can recognize that your pursuit for perfection is killing you, you can stop, or you cannot stop yourself from pursuing it, then seek professional help to help you dismantle this terrible habit. You may think that your perfectionist tendencies may have helped you in the past, but they truly did not. They actually exhausted you while you were trying to reach an impossible dream. In any case, it's time to say thanks to that phase of your life and just move on to a more healthy effort. Have faith in your skills to provide a very workable product or activity whenever you give a project your effort, and then live with it, perfectly satisfied and accepting of it. See you soon.